Hey guys, and welcome to something a little bit different. So this is going to be a live commentary of a playthrough of a game, or kind of a story almost, of something called Dear Esther. It's not something I've played before, it's something that I have though, and I've dabbled in a little bit, but never really got stuck into it. And I enjoy really atmospheric games. So I thought we could have a look at this together whilst we take a little break from DayZ. So let's check it out.
Dear Esther, I sometimes feel as if I've given birth to this island. Somewhere between the longitude and latitude, a split opened up, and it beached remotely here. No matter how hard I correlate, it remains a singularity. An alpha point in my life that refuses all hypothesis. I return each time leaving fresh markers that I hope, in the full glare of my hopelessness, will have blossomed into fresh insight in the interim.
So I have no idea why I'm here, who I am, and what I'm talking about. It looks like I'm on an island, pretty cloudy day, there's some sort of antenna up there, and you know how much I love those, so plan on going to check that out. So, looks like a lighthouse or something here. This lovely toilet. Doesn't look like it's been used in a while. Where is that bird going? What's in here? So it looks like this sort of kind of looks like a luminous paint. So all I know about this game really is it's meant to have a very engrossing world, and it's not so much about killing people or things, but it's more so about an adventure and sort of discovery and such. I don't even know if there's even any other characters in it, but we'll find out. It seems pretty interesting so far. So I can zoom in, but that's about it. So I'm gonna go up here first, as I'm interested in the antenna. Don't know what I'll find. Okay, am I going to be able to get across here? Just about.
Donnelly reported the legend of the hermit, a holy man who sought solitude in its most pure form. Allegedly, he rode here from the mainland in a boat without a bottom, so all the creatures of the sea could rise at night to converse with him. How disappointed he must have been with their chatter. Perhaps now, when all that haunts the ocean is the rubbish dumped from the tankers, he'd find more peace. They say he threw his arms wide in a valley on the south side, and the cliff opened up to provide him shelter. They say he died of fever 116 years later. The shepherds left gifts for him at the mouth of the cave, but Donnelly records they never claimed to have seen him. I have visited the cave, and I have left my gifts, but like them, I appear to be an unworthy subject of his solitude.
Okay. So I don't know what this indicates. Maybe a hole, or maybe it's a boat or something. Was this two hands trying to grab hold of something? It doesn't make any sense. I could carry on, but this looks too interesting to pass up, so it's in here. A bit dark. Well, we can't get any further this way. It's really pretty though, all the foliage. That's really nice. You know, I could kind of, you know, I appreciate Chernarus and the world that DayZ takes place in, but this is, you know, a slightly different kind of setting, but I like the look and the feel of it, you know? It seems, it's very, makes you feel very isolated. So that's another tin can. Doesn't look like it's luminous. Right, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get over there this time. Come on. Okay, okay, whoa, 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 whoa. Alright, well, that's as far as I can get up there. Nice clear water. Okay, so we can probably go those steps. I'm interested what's behind this rock though.
There was once talk of a wind farm out here, away from the rage and the intolerance of the masses. The sea, they said, is too rough for the turbines to stand. They clearly never came here to experience the becalming for themselves. Personally, I would have supported it. Turbines would be a fitting contemporary refuge for a hermit. The revolution and the permanence.
What is this symbol? Interesting. I have no idea what it is though. Almost looks like some sort of mathematical... I can't think of the word now, but if you know, leave a comment. So you can probably get a sense that this playthrough is not action-packed. It's going to be more of a calming experience, you know, a discovery sort of thing more than anything else. It's more of like an interactive story as I understand it. But I love the music and the setting, and yeah, it's really engrossing.
I have found the ship's manifest, crumpled and waterlogged under a stash of paint cans. It tells me that along with this present cargo, there was a large quantity of antacid yogurt bound for the European market. It must have washed out to sea. God knows there are no longer gulls or goats here to eat it.
So yeah, if you guys like it, then you know, we can carry on doing it. If not, then we don't necessarily have to. But this isn't the only thing I'm looking at covering. We'll take a look at some other things too. Something else I've been looking at is Natural Selection 2. So yeah, we'll probably take a look at that as well. What is that like? It's like an eye. More of that paint on the wall. Okay, it's a tire. Northeast? Is that maybe? What it means up there? It's sort of backwards, but... Okay, it's not... Can I get up here? Can I walk any further up here? I don't think I'm able to climb up that. No. Okay, so we'll go back. before you ask, there is no run button in this, so it's going to be a calm pace. So this is the other side of the rocks that I couldn't get to before. So we might be able to get to that antenna yet. I wonder what's there.
Reading Donnelly by the weak afternoon sunlight, he landed on the south side of the island, followed the path to the bay and climbed the mount. He did not find the caves, and he did not chart the north side. I think this is why his understanding of the island is flawed, incomplete. He stood on the mount and only wondered momentarily how to descend. But then, he didn't have my reasons.
Didn't have my reasons for what? For trying to, I guess, to get on top? Or what is my guy thinking? Is he wanting to kill himself?
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this: to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
Right, so I realize that I'm mad, so I'm planning on making lines in there and killing myself, or I'm ill as well. Doesn't make so much sense to me. But there weren't any lines on the wall over here, I don't think. Let's journey on. That radio tower doesn't feel like it's getting any nearer. Strange things.
I quote directly: a motley lot with little to recommend them. I have now spent 3 days in their company. That is, I fear, enough for any man not born amongst them. Despite their tedious inclination to quote scripture, they seem to me the most godforsaken of all the inhabitants of the Outer Isles. Indeed, in this case, the very gravity of that term, forsaken by God, seems to find its very apex. It appears to me that Donnelly, too, found those who wander this shoreline to be adrift from any chance of redemption. Did he include himself in that, I wonder?
Boat down there. Can I get to it? Let's have a look and find out.
Dear Esther, I met Paul. I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
I can hear my heart beating. What was that? It sounded like it was coming over from here, but I don't know. I'm wondering if I'm a ghost or something. I'll walk up there later.
I find myself increasingly unable to find that point where the hermit ends and Paul and I begin. We are woven into a sodden blanket, stuffed into the bottom of a boat to stop the leak and hold back the ocean. My neck aches from staring up at the aerial. It mirrors the dull throb in my gut where I am sure I've begun to form another stone. In my dreams, it forms into a perfect representation of Lot's wife, head over her shoulder, staring along the motorway at the approaching traffic in a vacuum of fatalistic calm.
So I'm thinking that I am crazy and maybe have split personalities. Maybe like Paul and the Hermit, etc. Paint again. This time it's the luminous paint, so obviously that paint has been used to make these drawings. It looks like cells or something. Well, that looks like an upside down penis. Okay, let's leave this cave. That boat looks like it's been there for a long time though. Doesn't look like it's something that's necessarily recently washed up. Did its lights just come on? Or am I imagining things? I must be imagining things. Right.
I've become convinced I am not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
Well, I have not come across any candles yet. What's this? Chemistry. Did this here plane? Yeah, it's a chemistry book and maybe a Bible or something? Yeah, it does look like chemistry sort of stuff. Well, let's press on this way towards that antenna.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services. But although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
What is it that whoever I am is looking for? Was it this island? Well, these have definitely been here for some time as well. Looks like we're getting closer to the radio tower there, or antenna, whatever it is. I think it's a radio tower.
I've begun to wonder if Donnelly's voyage here was as prosaic as it was presented. How disappointed not to have found the bones of the holy man. No wonder he hated the inhabitants so. To him they must have seemed like barnacles mindlessly clinging to a mercy seat. Why cling so hard to the rock? Because it is the only thing that stops us from sliding into the ocean, into oblivion.
What does that say there? The nor drink, neither did he the nor drink, or something like that. There's all the crap here. Tins of that paint, probably. Creaking. I'll be bold and walk through this container. Man, if anybody or anything pops out at any point in this game, I am gonna drop a brick in my trousers. What's this? It's like a trap or something.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
So is he saying this is maybe where a lot of people have come and became hermits, or were hermits already and just came here to be isolated, perhaps? He's saying if there wasn't a hole in the boat, then people would leave? I don't know. Interesting. I'm sure that I could look up something that would tell me all about this and how it all pans out in the underlying story and everything, but that's not the fun of it, you know? It's going on the adventure.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital after the operation. when I was still half submerged in anesthetic. Your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
So when he was talking about the accident earlier, I think maybe his wife was killed in an accident and he was trying to, you know, figure out how or why it happened. Okay, that looks really interesting, but I'm going to take a look up here first. It's like a pit or a sinkhole or something. A house. Oh man, but that hole. I'm going to have to look. Slip down here.
What charnel house lies at the foot of this abyss? How many dead shepherds could fill this hole?
I almost want to jump. But not yet. Going up the edge. Okay, I'm done looking at that. Let's go to see this house first.
I've begun my ascent on the green slope of the western side. I've looked deep into the mountain from the shaft and understood that I must go up and then find the way under. I will stash the last vestiges of my civilization in the stone walls and work deeper from there. I'm drawn by the aerial and the cliff edge. There is some form of rebirth waiting for me there. The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Or are those sort of chemistry kind of sounds? Or, no, I don't know, something different this time.
Three cormorants seen at dusk. They did not land. This house built of stone, built by a long-dead shepherd. Contents: my camp bed, a stove, a table, chairs, my clothes, my books. The caves that score out the belly of this island, leaving it famished. My limbs and belly famished. This skin, these organs, this failing eyesight. When the battery runs out in my torch, I will descend into the caves and follow only the phosphorescence home.
Okay, so this is where I've been living. Lovely. Looks comfortable. Homely, even. Is there a light in there? Well, this has been an interesting adventure so far. I think we'll continue in the next episode. If you guys like it, let me know. And I'll see you next time.